Hi guys, this is session 2 of the Level 1 Hip Mobility Series. This session will be similar to the first one in that it will include 3 components to it. You'll have the preparation component, the strength stability component, and finally the flexibility component. Each will be in a separate video as part of this series and included within the playlist. So we are going to start with the preparation work. The first movement we're going to practice is called the kneeling hip extension. This one is to open up the quads and the hip flexors. We will start in a kneeling position. I will go sideways so you can see what's happening. From here, you want to have your feet, the tops of your feet on the floor if you can. If it's too uncomfortable for you, you can go on the balls of your feet. It's fine. From here, sitting up nice and tall, I want to reach back and place my hands on the ground. I want to have the shoulders rolled back. My head is in a neutral position, so I'm not pushed forward. And I'm pushing the chest forward and opening up the chest. Now, for some of you, that might be difficult to do on its own due to mobility in the lower body. So you can use a pair of yoga blocks or books or whatever you can find to place your hands on behind you, which might make it easier for you to get in this position without sitting all the way down on your heels. You can elevate this as high as you need to. You can have the blocks beside you and then be starting in this elevated position. Either way, we can work on the hip extension. So, from here, setting up in the starting position, rolling the shoulders back and down, making a big chest, head is neutral. I will engage through the glutes and extend the hips up towards the ceiling. As far as I can go, I will pause. I'll also squeeze the shoulder blades together to help open up the chest. Coming back down to touch my glutes to the heels, and then driving back up again. We'll do a set of 10 of those. For those of you who are working this in a more elevated position, it would be a similar movement. From here, I bring my heels back, my hips back towards the heels as far as it's comfortable, and then from there, drive the hips forward. Try to maintain that good opening of the chest. Get a good pause at the top where you're squeezing the glutes and pressing the hips to the ceiling, and then coming back down slowly with control, making sure you're still engaged. Before it, don't rest at the bottom. Keep that engagement, and then drive back up again. Or set of 10. Pretty basic exercise. Nice one for starting to open up the front of the hips. Second one, there's a little bit more to it. This one called 90-90. This comes from something called FRC, Functional Range Conditioning. Of course, I took back in 2013 and really changed my approach to mobility work. So 90-90 is pretty much the gold standard for a hip mobility exercise. I've found this to be one of the most beneficial that I've used and have had other people use to great success. If focusing on this position and increasing mobility is something that you pay attention to, you will see very good progress in your hip mobility and how well your hips feel. So it's called the 90-90 because we'll be starting from the ground with our legs in a 90-degree position. So I will sit up on my weak side first, and I do recommend you do that whenever you're working on strength and balance or an issue that in mobility where one side is more challenged than the other. It's beneficial to start on the more challenged side first. So on my more challenged side, I will make sure my front leg's set at 90 degrees, and that top of the leg comes up 90 degrees to the hip, and then it forms a 90-degree angle at the knee, so that the lower part of my leg is parallel to my upper body. Back leg is also 90 degrees, and then it comes out directly from the side, and then 90-degree bend at the knee, and both together make 2 90-degree angles, and that's where the 90 comes from. First thing I want to do is I want to try and set myself up nice and tall. So for some of you, this already is going to be an extreme challenge because of the closing angle on your hip. You may find that you're leaning over too much and you can't even take your hands off the ground. Or you're twisting and contorting your body so much that you can't really get in a proper position. If that's the case for you, we can again use the yoga blocks or some kind of cushion or place the block right under that hip, glute of that forward leg. So this already helps relieve some of that tension and that internal rotation of the hip on the other side. And then the other thing we want to be sure of is we don't want to leave the knee floating in the air. So if I've elevated the hip, I'll also want to support the knee so that as I'm doing this, I'm not putting pressure in the joint itself, but I'm allowing the muscles to do the work. So having the knee supported in whatever way you can find with the block, angle it as such so it's comfortable, find where your knee is supported, and then you can line yourself up a little bit more upright. Now, the 90-90 involves a hinge at the hips. I want to make sure that the upper body remains completely vertical. So I don't want to, or I should say straight, I don't want to round the upper back as I come down. Just like any other stretch, if I'm going for the hips or the lower body, if I round the upper back, I take all the focus off the area that I want to work on. So nice and tall through the spine, head up, looking up at the horizon, not down at the floor. I'm going to have my hands, I can either support themselves down here, or I can have them out to the side, depending on where you're at. At the beginning, you might want to support yourself. And you're going to hinge at the waist, and you're going to bend with a flat back as far as is comfortable until you feel that stretch in the outside hip. Now, being straight over top of the shin is what we ultimately want to go for. But for a lot of you, it's going to be much too uncomfortable. You won't be able to make much range. You can start at an easier angle by rotating your body slightly so that the center of your chest is over the knee. From there, hinging at the waist, a nice flat back. I can have my hands out in front, and I'm going to hinge at the waist, bringing the center of my chest towards that knee, remembering not to round and look down, but keeping that nice tall spine. And when I get to a position where I feel I've gone far enough, I'm giving a good stretch there. I'm going to engage the lower body. I'm going to push through my lower leg to bring me back up again. So I want to use the strength of my lower body to control my lowering, pause, and press me back up again. This is the easiest position to start with. As you get more comfortable and more mobile, you start to turn your body so that your shoulders start to line up with the lower leg. You've got one shoulder in line with the ankle, one in line with the knee. Again, starting with supported, nice flat back. Remember, we are hinging forward, not reaching the head down to the floor. Nice and tall through the spine, over top. You can do it unsupported, all better, but start nicely supported and ease into this and start to feel where you can feel the stretching in the hip. Once you've done 5 to 10 reps on one side, you can remove the blocks, and then you can switch to the other side. Switching now to my less challenged side, I'll go without the blocks. And I'll make sure I set up properly again, making sure I've got the 90 degrees here, the 90 degrees here, sitting up nice and tall, lining myself up with the shoulders wherever I'm most comfortable, flipping over the knee, hinging forward at the waist, keeping nice and tall through the spine, pressing to come back up. As I get more mobile and warmed up, I might be able to slightly shift myself across, line myself up again, over top, keeping engaged, pressing back up. As we move across, the position gets more and more difficult. One of the things that I like to play with sometimes is I'll have my hands on the floor, and I'll bring my knee in line with the center of the chest, and then I'll try to work myself across slightly, keeping that same height, working deeper into the hip. And this will help ease you into that new position. Something that you can do after your 5 to 10 reps on each side. After that, you can work on a little inside-outside work. Again, as much as possible, keeping the lower body engaged. I can come across, pause, and come back, and work that lateral movement to try and get a little bit deeper in the hip. Another option for the 90-90 is to, once you've gotten comfortable with it, is to perform it as you might a hip swivel, in that we'll do a rep on one side, come back up. I'll do, as the hip swivel, I will alternate up. Open up the hips, have that separation, sitting up nice and tall, flip to the other side, make sure I've got the 90-90, realign myself. Control, knees, press back up, and then open up, alternate, making sure I've got the 90-90, and continue. Unlike the hip swivel and the shin box variety that we had in session number 1, the position of my legs is spread out into a 90-90 as opposed to knee in line with arching foot. So there's your 90-90, there's your hip swivel. But they can be used to mobilize the hips in the same general way. So that's the 90-90. Take your time with this. This one is gold. You could do this a couple times, 2-3 times a week, just nice and easy. If you were to continue focusing on this for a couple of months, you would feel a big difference in how your hips are moving and how comfortable you are in this position. The third movement we're going to do today on this preparation phase is nicknamed the Squat-to-Pike. So it's a change of position. We're going to start in our standing position. Again, I'm going sideways for you, so you have a better view. Standing up nice and tall, I can have my hands crossed in front, just so that I'm making sure I'm keeping my shoulders back. I'm squeezing the shoulders back. From here, I'm going to go into my squat as deep as is comfortable for you. From here, making sure I have a nice flat back. I'm not squatting with a rounded back, so do stop where you feel this start to happen. Doesn't matter how deep you go, start the range of motion that you have now, and if you focus on that, you will gradually improve. So from here, once I'm at the bottom of my squat, the idea is I'm going to straighten my legs as much as possible, keeping my back nice and flat. Now you'll notice that I'm not doing this. I'm not curling. We want to try and maintain that nice spinal alignment at the top to focus all of the work in the posterior chain. And if we round our back, we will take that off. So down, I'm keeping a nice flat back, I'm keeping my eyes on the horizon. I'm not looking at the floor so much, not with my head, but maybe a little bit with the eyes. Straightening the legs as much as I can. It may only be this far for you, that's all right. When you run out of room to straighten your legs, you can start to straighten by coming up, using the angle that you already have. And then once you've fully extended the legs, keeping the glutes active, I can extend the hips forward and be standing here. So, down as far as is comfortable, straighten as much as you can without compensating with the back. Continue straightening by elevating the hips, but keeping the back angle, engaging the glutes, and standing up right again. For those of you who have more flexibility, more mobility, you can be right to the bottom of the squat, from here, straightening the heads all the way, keeping the nice flat back, still engaged to the glutes, and coming back up. You can do a set of 5 to 10 of those as well, and use these movements as a circuit, where you'll start with the kneeling hip extension for a set, the 90-90 for a set, then the Squat-to-Pike for a set, and then go back to the beginning and repeat 3 times at least. I find that 3 is the magic number. That's when things really start to feel better. And if you want to spend some time just focusing on this kind of work at the start, then you can do as many as 4 or 5 rounds of this. Next, we will do the strength stability.